Hear you. So I guess we just have 4 minutes and then we would kick off.
Yeah, we're waiting Henry, okay? Henry already with us. So yeah, it's your time to take this conversation.
It's my time to shine.
Hi Henry.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah, we do
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Perfect. So, how does this usually go?
Yeah, I'm just going to be asking you some questions. We're taking some questions also from the live segments in combination. And ultimately, you're just going to be answering those questions and also maybe going to be sharing your views, may not necessarily be streamlined to the question I might be asking you. Of course, you also have the chance to also, extensively share your own view about the project.
Perfect.
All right, so we have about 3 minutes to go, and then we would kick off.
And can you
Okay,
send me the
awesome.
link
Yeah,
to the chat for the Binance Live AMA so that I can share with the community?
all right, okay. I guess that will be done by um, Kevin. All right, so yeah, so guys, I want to use time out now to welcome everyone to Crypto Planet's Binance live stream. Uh, Also, want to send a shout out to as many listening to us right now on the Binance Live. I want to say thank you so much, for attending this great meeting. We have two of our guests who will be, standing as representatives, of Polyverse, and they'll be doing justice to all the questions that will be coming from my end, and also the questions that will be coming from the community. So I'd like you guys to check out Crypto Planet's channel, the announcement channel that has all the links currently trending. I would like you guys, to check out, the exclusive insights from Zenix app that's Pro and also the update and future vision of Polyverse .gg. There you can find the link. And of course, feel free to ask your questions, of course, on Twitter, where you can actually get all your questions answered, and also on their Telegram channel. Of course, just in case we may not be able to touch on the questions, from our end, you can always send your questions to the Telegram community. Also, do want to follow them on Twitter, where you can actually get all the updates and innovations, of course, from Polyverse. So, also, guys, have it in mind that this is not a financial advice. I would like you guys, to do your research, check out the website, the platform's website, where you can actually get an insight and also an overview of what Polyverse is all about. So I'll use the time out now to welcome Mr. Enrico, and also special guest Emily. Of course, like you guys, to introduce yourself to the community before we kick off.
So I'll go first, or should I let Emily go first? I don't know. I'll go
Yeah,
first.
anyone is fine.
Absolutely. So, first of all, thank you for having me. It's an amazing experience to be able to do an AMA with while showing my face. It's something that you don't necessarily see often in the space, and I love to do it when people propose it. I'm Henry. I'm one of the I'm the creator within the Polyverse Discord. I'm one of the minds that came up with the overall idea, from the business modeling to the marketing strategy to the actual game core concepts. And we've been working on this for the past 3 years. So I'm invested the past 3 years of my life to making sure this project sees the light and reaches the height it deserves. And I hope we are a few steps away from seeing that happen.
All right, thank you, Mr. Enrico. Emily.
Yeah. Okay, sure. I Emily. You can call me Emmy as a BDA from Zenic. And in here I work with Enrico, I mean Polyverse. And in here we trying to doing successful to support Polyverse as best we can. So I'm here to assist you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Emily. So, of course, I think you'll be serving as a quarterback to Mr. Enrico. All right, you're welcome. So let's go quickly now into the talking about Polyverse. I notice that Polyverse aims to redefine the GameFi space by merging high quality browser based gameplay with also Web3 features. So what do you think makes this approach stand out in comparison to other blockchain based gaming platforms, and how do you envision it attracting traditional gamers who might be hesitant about the Web3?
So I will provide the, let's say, the politically correct answer. So which is that to us, Polyverse is innovative because it merges a triple A approach to development with the game directly accessible via browser, with seamless multi-chain integration from day one. And unlike typical blockchain games, Polyverse isn't built around basic play to earn. Actually emphasizes true digital asset ownership, immersive gameplay, and sustainable tokenomics that prioritizes long-term ecosystem growth. In our opinion, we are providing an unprecedented interoperability, bridging Ethereum for the staking and the NFT access, and Wax, the blockchain, for the backend to significantly enhance potential liquidity and the accessibility for all players. If I were to go with the non-politically correct answer, I would say that we kind of differentiate from others because we, as an indie studio, without millions and millions and millions in funding, we were able to deliver a product to the audience before actually releasing a token. Leveraging the proceeds from everything we've done, from the NFT launch and so on and so forth, to actually be able to deliver before leveraging those bags for other reasons. So that's what we pride ourselves with the most.
All right, thank you so much for that, of course. So, moving forward now, with what you just said so far, let's look into the NFTs. I noticed, that they are integrated both as external assets and as in-game items. So, how do you think this dual use of NFTs will sort of, impact players' engagement and also the overall gaming experience?
So to us, the NFT, and especially the stake to play dynamic we have with NFT, which means that basically when people get an NFT, they can stake it on our platform in order for them to access the game. Okay, then everything basically they create, craft, and receive in game. It's also an NFT that they can own and so on. Um, the cool thing that we made, in my opinion, is that we took example from the old PS1 memory card, okay, and we try to replicate the same idea with our NFTs. So every time you log into the game with a specific NFT, everything gets saved. Let's say gets saved on the NFT, or actually on a dedicated wallet that's directly connected and only connected to that specific NFT, so that when people decide to trade, exchange, sell, do whatever they want with the NFT, they are actually selling their gaming history. So if people grind to the max level and whatever, and then they sell it, the people that are actually buying are buying that gaming history. So that's a utility that generally NFTs do not necessarily have in Web3 gaming. And of course, on the other end, if we are developing and we're letting people craft NFTs as in-game rewards, we have also to be provide them with the marketplace. So initially, internally, the NFTs that people receive in game are wax-based NFTs, and if they want to take them out, we need to bridge them to Ethereum and then let them sell them on any Ethereum-based marketplace, or they can just do it internally or with the marketplace we will release internally on month 4 or 5 after the release. So this is the way we decided to do things: multi-chain, new utility, different approach, a real use case, and I hope that's what people appreciate. Can you
All
still
right.
hear me, guys? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it kind of like it just broke off, while you were making the conclusion, but I think we pretty much got all of that. So, my next question would be, to Emily, just a follow-up question, from talking about, the Mr. Enrico sort of touched on the NFTs and how it was, impact player engagement and the overall gaming experience. So, Emily, do you think players will value, NFTs as in-game assets or as investment vehicle more?
Hello. I'm so sorry. I think it's Enrico is the right person to asking about Poly first because in here, like
Okay.
I'm from Zenix and I bring Enrico, I mean Poly first in my side. So I just back up from Enrico and Enrico is like the best person to answer about the Poly first. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
All right. Amazing. Amazing. Cool. Awesome. So, yeah, back to Mr. Enrico. So, do you think players will value NFTs, as in-game assets or as investment vehicles more?
I hope. Okay, there are two sides to this answer. Side one is as uh, for the well-being of the project. I hope they will value them for in-game reasons more. From the business side of things, I hope they will see it as an investment. I can't be I can't push them. I don't I don't control that. But there are two sides of this, and I hope that they will leverage the in-game benefits of it more. Okay, then of course there are speculative reasons why people should use it and buy it, but that's pretty much it.
All right, absolutely amazing. So, guys, I would like you guys now, to join Polyverse. Of course, don't just listen, because do also check out, Crypto Planets, the current host for this Binance live stream. Join Polyverse on Telegram, and please do also follow them on Twitter. Check out all their socials, to keep you up to speed with all your latest updates. So, in the white paper now, the white paper sort of mentions two distinct types of NFTs in Polyverse. Talking about the external NFTs, like the NFT access collections and the in-game NFT. So, how important do you think the distinction between these two types is for? Is for creating a sustainable and balanced in-game economy. And can you see any challenges arising from having such a split?
Well, not really. I mean, the extra, let's call them the external NFTs, are basically your character and your memory card. Anything else which is within which is in game, it's linked directly to that NFT and can be used if that NFT, that character, gets staked in game, and then you can access your in-game wallet that's directly connected to the NFT. What's important for me for in-game NFTs is that, of course, we incur the risk that if there is a high player number, then of course there might be in excess of certain NFTs, which in turn will diminish in value. But we are not selling we are not selling any weapons. We are not selling anything within the game. There are no microtransaction pushed from us at this point. So people will get in-game NFTs, and they will decide based on supply and demand, that they will decide what's the actual price that they can put if they want to share it in the marketplace. Also, in-game NFTs are 100% completely random, so you can get two guns that look the same. The name is the same, and in general, they will have specific stats which have specific ranges. But when we generate them, it's completely random. So that adds that type of excitement in saying, okay, let's see how good I got it or not. And anyhow, if you want to spend specific type of items and tokens in game, you can try to improve a specific set of that in-game NFT. So in my opinion, this adds a level of fun, complexity, and uncertainty, which is in turn extremely valuable for the project and keeping the community engaged.
All right, that's a good one. Yeah, just streaming through, the questions, getting, we're definitely going to be getting, some questions from the live segment. About five of those questions will be coming from the live segment. I've secured two questions that are project related. So, of course, that relates to the Polyverse. Of course, forgive me, guys, if I don't take the random questions because I think ultimately you can actually find those answers on the website. So, just getting the very important questions. And of course, if you have any more questions, you can always send it to the moderators in the social. So back to my questions now. I understand, that NFT access grants players, exclusive access to certain game features or maybe, perks based on NFT ownership. So do you think that this model could sort of create a more inclusive or maybe exclusive player base, or how do you see it affecting game balance, especially if some players can access special feature that others cannot?
Sorry. Well, that's what's tricky with a potential pay to win model, which is not what we are trying to do. What we are trying to do is to provide different collections and different access modes that differentiate themselves based on the type of investment and commitment someone has done to the project. And if you see the Genesis collection we're releasing, you can consider it like a collector's edition of a game or a premium edition of a game. Then the regular collection we will release after its regular edition of the game, and then we have the easy to access or accessible to everyone edition, which is made by staking tokens, which 10,000 tokens at TG price is $9. Um, at public price it's $9, and that's accessible for everyone, or at least that's pretty accessible as a game uh, to actually play. There are differences, of course. There are differences. There are rarities. There are the same goes for guns, skins, and other items in many other games. But we had to create that feeling. We had to create that difference, in order also to have players potentially identify more with a specific trade or trait or race and try to go into the market and value more for themselves that specific trait or that specific race of the NFT. And therefore decide to invest, to buy, to be more involved. And that's definitely something we have to do.
But I think that's also, very, very, it's very, very important point to actually look at. So, with Polyverse introduction of, differentiated NFT, just like you mentioned, talking about the NFT collections, such as the Genesis V2 and also the V3, with each offering sort of, unique benefits. Do you think, that this tiered structure will foster a healthy secondary market, and will players be more inclined to buy and trade NFTs based on their perceived exclusivity or in-game advantage?
I hope they'll focus on in-game advantage, especially because we created a custom ranking that the let's say the more like instead of ranking based on how rare a trait is, we created a ranking based on how powerful a trait or set of traits actually is. So we try to merge in-game benefit with exclusivity, and I think we did. So people that are involved in the project that are within our Discord, discord.gg/enter the shelter, and our holders know exactly what I'm talking about and the amazing ranking we have for initial 888 NFTs. So I wouldn't believe or trust necessarily the ranking or rarity ranking on NFTs, NFT marketplaces, but I would focus on what we are showing as the strongest NFTs for the game within our Discord. That's potentially the key. And that's all I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah, so yeah, especially, I have just one more question about that, which I actually left out. So how could this, affect, the game's economy over a long period of time?
I honestly don't think that's something that could affect the game economy so much, especially because the price of the more exclusive NFTs is defined by the owners of the NFTs. We have little to no control, and if they decide to create barriers of entry for others, we will work around those artificial barriers of entry created by potential community members and reward people that want to log in with different NFTs or by staking the token. It's clear that people that believed in us from the start and have been with us for a year and a half, and that understand how hard it was to go through the bear market, to have no investment initially, to then fight to find it, build everything as an indie game. If they got their hands early on the strongest NFT we released and they want to put it up for sale or gatekeep it at 100 ETH, good for them. Like that's good for them. Like I hope that happens. To them. I don't get anything out of the 100 ETH they sell. We haven't enforced creators fees, so we don't get anything out of it. But I hope that we do a good work. We work in such a good way that it is possible to achieve this level for people in the community. But other than that, it's not a problem of game economy. We spent months and months and months on simulations and planning and so on and so forth. The sustainability of the economic model, it's quite safe and sound.
All right, thank you so much. So, yeah, because I'm suddenly getting questions, based on the staking access in the Polyverse, which is designed to reward players for locking up, their tokens in exchange for reward and also other additional great game privileges. So, how do you think that this mechanism would affect the long-term sustainability of the platform? And do you think it will sort of, encourage players to invest more time in the game, or will it just attract speculators looking for financial rewards?
No, well, the stake to play access, it's actually not giving you rewards in terms of the staking of the token, but it's giving you reward in terms of you're able to play and gain the rewards for playing without actually owning the NFT. In the same way, there is a minimum staking time, which is 7 days, which is basically a trial for the game. After 7 days, you can decide if you want to take them out or whatever you actually want to do. One cool thing about this is that without having a burning mechanism, the stake to play mechanism ensures that there we are able to remove some tokens from the circulating supply, therefore diminishing the circulating supply, increasing potential, providing potential positive price action. And I think that the long-term sustainability of the project is not at risk, like we said for the past three questions. So it's I think it's fine.
All right, so can you see my face?
Sorry.
Hello.
Yes, I can. I can.
Yeah, awesome. So, yeah, so that's all about the staking access in the Polyverse, which is sort of designed for rewards for players. We get questions like that, all the time, from our users, especially those who are game centric. Myself, I love gaming, and whenever I see projects like this talking about gaming, it's absolutely amazing. To go into staking, because I've had many of my tokens, staked for 5 to 10 years, many times. So most of which, are of great advantage to me, and also some, it's a crypto space. You don't really expect to win all the time. So let's
Bro,
move on
what
now to
did
the
you
next. Yeah.
what did you stake for 10 years? I'm curious.
Yeah, based on my experience, I've had, let's say, a token actually came up, years ago, which we actually farmed. I farmed that token. I mined it, Ice, of course, came up.
Okay.
It was listed. Yeah, I think you know about Ice, Enrico.
Yeah, I didn't know it was around in 2015, but sure.
Yeah, it was
That's good.
mined before it was listed.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, so talking
Uh,
about the token now, the Patik token, which is the native utility token within the Polyverse platform, and also is which is required for various actions such as the minting of the NFTs and also progressing in the game. What do you think about the decision to centralize the economy around a single token like the Patik token, and how do you see its utility evolving as more players engage with the platform? And also, do you foresee any potential issues with token volatility?
well, we issues with token volatility are always there potentially if the tokenomics is not done well and if the liquidity available is not, you know, it's not put aside considering the potential sales pressure. So when you have a scenarios in which projects raise an amount of money and they underestimate the sales pressure, then that could bring, high volatility and some problems. What we've always done is not consider the sales pressure as what would be the potential sales pressure, but to always consider that everyone that can will sell at any given moment in time when we launch. So when you make sure that you have the liquidity that's the same as the initial circulating market cap, at that point you're able to mitigate quite well the potential liquidity from the start, and then from there on management, liquidity management, and everything to make sure your it's sustainable. At the same time, the tokenomics doesn't have an inflation curve that's risky. We do not have weird unlocks, or we didn't oversell ourselves to investors that they are 100% a TG and dump the project. That's not happening. Keep in mind our private round able to unlock for 12 months. The TG round is actually unlocking in 6 months. So we're not really worried about that. The same goes for the gaming ecosystem. The gaming ecosystem, which makes more than 25% of the tokenomics, gets vested over 8 years. So in order for us to mitigate the potential volatility, we worked around building in a high liquidity reserve, so high amounts of USDT to balance potential sell-offs, and deploy a buyback strategy to keep the project going. And at the same time, we developed the tokenomics that was sustainable with no high inflation rates at any point in time, apart from the first month, which is by design, of course, because you're releasing. You go from 0 to any number; it's a pretty big increase. Um, and we work around that. So we work around making sure the players can enjoy the game for at least a decent amount of years. And the same goes for making it sexy and appealing to potential investors that come from the IDO rounds, IKO rounds, or private, or even that want to just jump in at TG.
All right. So yeah, of course, that's I still have more questions about the token, because I noticed that it allows users to swap other cryptocurrency directly for the party token on the platform. So this streamlined approach seems to reduce the friction typically associated with acquiring native tokens. So do you think that this could lower the barrier to entry for new players who are sort of unfamiliar with the complexities of the blockchain and also crypto? And also, how important is it for Web3 platforms to simplify token acquisition for mainstream users?
This is a question that would require a very, very, very long answer. It's critical to put non-Web3 native people in the place in which they are able to actually buy, swap, bridge, do whatever they want easily, even if they do not have the knowledge to actually do it, even if they do not know how to operate MetaMask, or let alone Phantom, Trust Wallet, Wallet Connect, or any type of bridge, swap, Uniswap, Sushi, whatever you want. Okay. The truth is, though, that when you're using a specific technology, you need to have a minimum level of understanding of it, and the minimum level of understanding of the blockchain, at least, let's say the blockchain, but in this case of Web3, is being able to leverage, use, and operate a MetaMask account and connect it to sign basic transactions. If you're not able to do that, then probably Web3 is not for you at this moment in time, and you need to learn how to use it. That's pretty much it. The same goes if you're buying a laptop or a phone, and you are not able to understand how to install a program. That's a, a decent problem, which is not necessarily a barrier of entry that app developers or Apple, for example, should be focusing on. Rather, the user, if he wants to actually use something that has driven the desire in him or her, should actually improve and learn how to do it. The game is it's very simple. We require only you to stay, click two buttons, approve one thing on MetaMask, and that's it. If you're not able to do that, you're not our target user.
Yeah, so it sort of brings me, to the white paper, which introduces the GCV also, as a governance token, allowing players to convert the party to the GCV token, for participation in this decision making. So I would like to hear your thoughts now, Mr. Enrico, about this. What are your thoughts on this dual token system, and also how might the introduction of a governance token improve player engagement and also decentralization?
Well, the introduction of a governance token allows players to actually be able to decide, or to at least have a say, have an official say, based on the contribution they give to the project on whatever the project is doing. So whether we decide to put up for votes the next feature, or the next drop, or the next challenge, or the next boss, or the next event, or where to, regardless of how big and small in terms of tech development, business development, marketing activities, regardless, people that want to participate need to be able to participate, because otherwise we risk getting into the Nintendo Switch 2 slash Mario Kart problem, in which they didn't actually go and look for feedback from their community, and they release something that the community was waiting for a long time, at a completely wrong price at a completely wrong time on both the platform and the game. And that is so far the biggest backlash Nintendo's ever had on the release of a new platform or a new game. You know, would have these been more? It could have done this better. Probably they could have actually understood and tried to understand where the audience stood on pricing. You know, that's just a stupid example that it's from the last few days. And the same has to happen for us. We can just give for granted what our audience actually wants. We need to really understand, to ask them, and to let them know what they want. You know, because if people are voting through the governance token, so our GCV, uh, it means that one GCV is 10 patek. Okay, that they've had to spend, or at least stake, bridge, swap patek to get one potential vote. When they go back, they lose one patek. So they lose basically 10% when they switch back. So that's commitment. They decided, either through buying the token or winning the token as reward or whatever it is, they decided that they wanted to take part in the decision making process, however big or small it might actually be. And in turn, they know that they don't want to participate anymore, and they want to go back to having patek again. They will lose 10%. Okay, so that's, be sure that if you're doing that, you want to be part of the decision making process, because we are sure that we will take 100% into consideration and follow the guidelines that we get out of those votes. So that's how it becomes sustainable. To me, GCV is not a token that should be traded. I mean, of course, people will create. Now, we'll try to trade it. We'll trade it. We will not focus on listing GCV. That's just not us. That's not what we're aiming for.
Okay, so guys, please do not forget, of course, to join Polyverse on Telegram, and also make sure to follow them on Twitter. I also noticed you guys have a Discord, right? Or it's currently inactive.
No, it's currently active. It's discord.gg/enter the shelter. You have
Excellent.
to pass the
Yep.
verification. Verification is pretty strict. Everyone told us remove it.
Okay.
Now we're not like it's absolutely strict. So the members you see there want to be there. Of course, it's not a huge community because we're not a huge project, but we are making huge progress, which is what we are focusing on.
So, guys, please do well to check out the Discord, of course. So, the Polyverse play to earn system revolves around various in-game activities such as harvesting resources, crafting items, and minting NFTs. Pretty much, a lot of what you guys have actually talked about. So, how do you think that these different activities create a dynamic player-driven community? And do you believe that play to earn models, when done well, can actually provide a lasting incentive for players?
Yes, I do believe it does. I also do believe that people forget what the play to earn model means for a company. You are while for a consumer, for a user, they are using the play to earn model. Okay, the company it's leveraging a pay to play model. So I'm paying you in order for you to play. In order for you to do this, and that, okay, I need you to pay you. So if the only way that players are leveraging, using, enjoying your game is because you're getting paid, you will fail. That's it. Because from the moment you stop paying, people stop playing. So if that's the case, it's a problem. It's also true that if you're able to create inertia, if you're able to actually get people interested in the game, making them open it up again, becoming a habit, making it easy to access, making it fun to play, making it a moment of community, a moment of integration, a moment of chatting with friends, a moment your thing, then at that point, the monetary incentive might play a smaller role. And the more you keep going, the smaller the role of the economic incentive is, up to a certain point at which players are happy to play without the actual money. Okay? That's what people should be focusing on when developing a play to earn game, because otherwise it doesn't work. It just doesn't. And we've seen it with many other projects, which I'm not going to name because I don't want to FUD anyone. But you might have a big user base because you think you have a good product, but the truth might be that you have a big user base because you are paying them. When you stop doing that, you remove. There are cases in which you've seen the price is being halved, okay, and the community playing being down 80%. That tells you that people were playing for the money, nothing else. They're just clicking to get money. We don't want that because that's destined to die. That's not gonna last. And I didn't invest 3 years of my life for something that is not gonna last. We might not last, of course. That's not what I mean. But I don't want to work on something that's designed not to last. That's the thing.
Yeah, I actually like the fact that you guys are sort of creating an environment for players who are not just seeking to just make the money and leave the system, but those who actually enjoy being a part and parcel or of the project itself. So this sort of brings me to the character leveling up system, which is in the in-game of the Polyverse, which is actually designed to increase the in-game value of a character as players invest time and also effort in leveling up. So, what do you think about the potential for players to earn significant rewards from, their high-level character on secondary markets?
I think that's the one thing that I'm most proud of. um because it follows what's happening with any game. Like you can buy fully leveled up accounts of Call of Duty Warzone, of you can do it for CS:GO, you can do it for Fortnite, you can buy skins, you can do it privately. Okay, what we try to do is give the player the ability to level up the character to the max to levels that probably other players are not able to do, which in turn allows them to have a easier access to the leaderboard or a better leaderboard ranking, which in turns make them more money for rewards. Okay, this, in my mind, in our predictions and everything, make it quite easy for people to work on leveling everything up and then selling because it has a real potential monetary value. How much will that account for? What's the price? I have no clue. Like no one does. Okay, we have simulations. We have stuff for in-game characters leveled up that would make sense over a year return. Okay, would make sense. Okay, over a year return to be sold at around 1 to 1.5 ETH. What this means is over a year, over across a year, with that specific character at that specific level, with that amount of gameplay skills, you would be able potentially to get 1 to 1.5 ETH in rewards, which means if I'm selling it at that price, whoever is buying it over a year can be at break even point. Okay. Those are simulations. Okay. Those are things that mathematically make sense. Okay. Of course, consumers are not always rational, so the mathematical things are not necessarily what are going to happen, but we need to make sure that potentially it makes sense. And it does. On paper, it does. Then we will see what's the behavior of the actual players. Consider that at today's price, for example, on ETH, if you, I think if you get, I think the break even point at TG for our NFTs, it's point zero zero, no, sorry, 0.089 ETH. So if you get an NFT and you paid less than 0.089 ETH on TGE, you will receive more. Okay. And regardless of this fact, which is publicly available and you can do the math on thanks to the tokenomics information we've dropped around and everything, the floor price just doesn't go there. But that's, we could simply buy the floor price to fake market making and make money ourselves on buying and selling our own project. It's not something we are comfortable. It makes no sense. It's just, I need to know what's the price that people are placing on this, and on on kind of an underdog mentality. I hope to say, look, we kind of told you, we kind of told you, you could have put point zero 0.04 ETH and have point zero 0.09 right now, just because it's math. That's it. But we'll see. Of course, NFA, DYOR, no, not financial advice. Do your own research and all that shit. I'm just talking math here, nothing more.
All right. So, do you think that offering, both free, because you talked about this, a bit when you were answering the previous questions which I asked. Do you think, offering both free and paid entry tournaments sort of strike the right balance between accessibility and rewarding dedicated players? Because I noticed that Polyverse incorporates leaderboard and organized tournaments to reward players based on their skill and strategy.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the point of the question. I understood, but what's the specific question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was asking about the fact that Polyverse actually incorporates a leaderboard, and also and organized tournaments to reward players based on their skill and also the strategy which they have. So do you think that this competitive element will sort of affect the community's engagement and also the motivation to participate regularly? And also, do you think that offering both the free and paid entry tournaments strikes sort of the right balance between accessibility and also rewarding dedicated players?
Okay, now I get it. So I'll tell you something funny about it. Okay. Uh, we've deployed. We try to do a tournament. Okay, as our alpha for our alpha test. Okay, and people figured out like the point of the tournament was to get the game with the most points and the game with the most damages. Okay, people figured out that there were weapons that would deal a lot more damages even if they killed the same amount of people because they were too powerful. Those weapons were, for example, shotguns. Okay, so given those weapons are randomly dropped, okay, they couldn't just go out and buy them. And given that when you craft the weapon, the power of the weapon is based on your level, we've had people smart enough to understand that, well, I got the blueprint, let me level up as much as I can so that when I craft the shotgun, it's going to be stronger. Because if I craft it now, it's just going to be a weak ass shotgun. And they leveled up, they got the shotgun to the highest level they could actually possibly get to then go back and do that type of thing. So we are already seeing this. We've seen it with the minimum amount of players we could have done a task, which was 10 players. Okay, we've seen it. We've seen it. The leaderboard thing is something everyone appreciates. We are doing a play to airdrop campaign that has gone amazingly well, considering that there are only like 100 people at most whitelisted to actually play on a daily basis, and we have a few submissions on a daily basis. Okay, so we have people playing the game continuously, day day in day out for the past 90. Okay, we are trying to create a habit. We are trying to show them, look, this is what we are doing. And the feedback has been amazing. The feedback has been amazing. It also pointed out, on the other end, it also pointed out that melee weapons in our game suck and they are pretty much pointless until we are able to actually roll out the trait power ups thing. So, but this was just an example to let you know how things went.
All right, guys. So that's all about the questions, of course, from my end. I would like to draw it a close by asking two live questions now, because from the notification now I notice we have less than 13 minutes to round up the meeting. So I'm going to be asking two questions from the live segment. So guys, sorry, you can always send your questions to the Telegram. Of course, we have moderators who are readily seated to answer those questions. So, are you ready for the two questions?
Born ready, man.
Okay, so the first question, how does the staking mechanism work for NFTs in terms of tracking both duration and quantity to determine airdrop rewards and sale access? Did you get that?
I sorry, I couldn't hear you. Like, what's the best way to?
Yeah, like how does the staking mechanism work for NFTs in terms of tracking both duration and quantity to determine airdrop rewards and sale access?
That's okay. So that's actually done hybridly. Okay, what I mean is, we don't know until one day before. So we don't know until April 14th how much is the exact amount of pay of Patik that will get airdropped. Okay, what I can tell you right now is that up to today, let me just open up the right document because otherwise it's madness. Up to today, if you've staked one NFT from, let's say, holder stakers. Okay. So if you stake one NFT from day one, okay, ideally the airdrop value at public price is around 900 and you will get around 146. Uh, oh, sorry, I was reading. Sorry, getting wrong. If you stake, if you stake one NFT, okay, do we have one? Yes, if you stake one NFT from the beginning, Okay, from the beginning, the you will get roughly the total allocation is roughly 60,000 patic. Okay, but if you stake from the beginning, it means you're holding from the beginning. So you will get, on top of that, you should get 163,000 patek, you know? So it's 163 plus 60, 223, 223,000 in total vested over the year. 263 in total. And at TGE unlock would be around $40 plus 40 bucks plus TGE value public, TGE Patek unlock. You see, roughly $200, I would say. It's taken from day one and getting on TG. That's how much it would be. The reason why I'm making this, it's harder to answer the question directly, is because it depends on how many people have staked for how many days. So if people remove their tokens from staking or add their tokens instead, well, if they add it to you, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter. But if they remove it, you get more money. Okay. So I can give a straightforward answer, but ballpark range, those are the simulations.
All right, thank you. So we will be moving on now quickly to the second question, which I also think it's sounds like follow-up question, from the first question that this individual. The reason why I picked this question is because it's a question of interest. So we're still talking about. Let me go back to that question again and see. Yeah. So what smart contract or blockchain infrastructure is used to manage the locking and unlocking of NFTs? And how is it secured against early on staking or manipulation?
Of course, yes. The smart contract has been deployed for a year. It's secure. It's been audited. We are doing it on. It's an in-house team, our own team that developed the staking smart contract. Um, it's on Ethereum, and that's pretty much it. I don't know what other type of information would be required to answer the question. Uh, Not sure. Like, it's a pretty straightforward answer. It's on Ethereum. It's been audited, safe for the past year. No idea. No idea what else to add.
All right, yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Mr. Enrico, and thank you, Emily, for being here. Of course, it's been an awesome AMA. So we're going to be passing the spotlight to you now, to give us a conclusion, to wrap up the AMA, of course, and also to give us your feedback, whether or not you enjoyed the AMA, and give us a little bit of information, that we have not already covered from the start of the AMA down to the end. Yeah, over to you, Enrico.
It was a pleasure. I'm really happy we were able to have these conversation. It's been a peculiar day, a period, because we had so many AMAs, text, voice, now Binance Live, whatever it is, and I'm really happy to see the type of support and engagement that we've seen. Um, and Thank you to the Zenix community. It's been amazing working with you guys, and I hope that everything goes the best way possible tomorrow, and that we all enjoy an amazing TG and listing on the 15th on Uniswap, and the 17th on MEXC, and then from there on we can reach the goals we have set for this project. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Tim. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Crypto Planet, for hosting this. It's amazing. Tomorrow, April 11th, we have the IDO. April 15th, we have the listing on Uniswap, and April 17th, we have the listing on MEXC. Claiming active, I don't know, Emily, if it's correct. Claiming active from the 15th. Okay. 1 day refund period. I don't know. I'm not Xenix, but I'm trying to tell you what I remember from the contracts we signed. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, and see you soon.
Thank
All
you
right,
very
thank you
much.
so much, guys.
Um,
Go ahead, Emily. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to say thank you to Enrico because he is doing well today. Because it's the
Yeah.
first his Binance Live.
Awesome. Feels like he's been doing it for ages.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you guys so much.
Have a good
Really.
one. Thank
All
you,
right.
man. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one,
Thank you,
guys. Thank you so
guys.
much.
Bye bye.